Welcome back to Unpacking the Week. Thanks for coming back, anybody returning, and welcome all new people to the channel. I seem to be getting a little bit of a few people checking it out, and I'm very appreciative of you that do. This is Unpacking the Week, where we kind of go over, we just played an armory, giving our thoughts on what we're seeing out there, unpacking the week, all while we will be doing this. I just got back from outside from filming the Aurora that had hit a lot of the northern hemisphere. It was a level 5 of 5 storm. A few of my local meta were quite excited to check that out, as was I. Obviously, as was I. So, aside from the sweet 5 out of 5 storm that was visible all across the whole northern hemisphere, as we've got reports from my friends in Michigan, and I haven't checked with my friends in Maryland if they were able to see it, but, hope y'all did. Let's do my prize packs first. So I brought out Prism for the first time. As I've been saying over the past bit, I was going to start playing Prism. I don't have all of the cards for the deck that I want to build, but I just wanted to get a vibe for the deck and see where she's at. Everyone's telling me how broken she is and how she's just this massive problem. I don't feel that way, having just played her. I know I'm not like expert Prism player number 1, nor can I even claim anything like that. It just didn't feel insanely broken. I did some nutty shit. I did some crazy stuff. Drew 7 cards in one turn, pounded. It didn't even feel like I was playing Flesh and Blood for a second. And I know that's what people are talking about. I know that's what people are talking about. But it overall wasn't so bad. My opponent was still I was still at 1 at the end of the game. I mean, I know I took control, but that's what control decks do. 11th hour, turn it around. That's kind of what they do. So let's see here. What do we got going on over here? These are just the prize packs. I got some more Dusk Till Dawn because my Outsiders collection is now finished. I can now move on to Dusk Till Dawn. Big base arms Evos. Liquid, Soup Up, some terrible little Dissolving Shield. Tokens will go over here. My opponents today were 2 Assassins, Uzuri and Arachne. Both were kind of gearing up and trying to figure out what they're going to be doing because a lot of the new Assassin cards that have been spoiled. Speaking of which, we can talk about like Beckoning Blade. When this hits your next blue attack, this turn gets +1. Pretty specific to new. I can't imagine any other Assassin is going to care too much about that card. You never know. I could be wrong. I'm allowed to be wrong. It just doesn't seem like that's the spice for the new decks. Oh man, those. Oh, I got a Tekla Foundry Heart. Can't complain too bad about that. I need that for the collection. I think we'll put that up there. No, we'll put that in the boost area. And a foil panel beater. Okay. So, those are some pretty good prize packs. I'll never complain about a Foundry Heart, and that should be going up in people's eyes pretty soon, considering if the format's really going to slow down this much and be so focused around blue cards, I'm pretty sure we're going to see some race decks come out. So in my 4 packs, I got a Teklo. Dusk Till Dawn is primarily what we're here to open. And because we're talking about Prism. So, first game, kind of feels like Assassins are going to have a really rough time dealing with probably any Illusionist. If I remember right, the Assassin player that I play against the most hated playing against Jermai, and I'm sure that's for good reason. I can't imagine that's a super fun matchup. And I just got a bunch of these 2 off of him. Shadow Runeblade. And sorry about that. And it went exactly like that. It was just able to Goliath. I know that, again, sometimes playing your meta is playing your meta. And I know this player doesn't. Damn, these. Rock Stars. Iron Song Versus. What a box. All right. That's just Warrior 2. That goes over here. Got distracted. I know they don't play a lot of poppers, so I brought in the Goliath gauntlets. Kind of went a bit rude with the Pierce realities as well. And it's just a lot of value. Sometimes it just feels like a little too unfair. They were tapping a lot of silver out of me, pulling all their equipment back and making some really good blocks. But if I remember right, my life was at 8, which realistically, after all of my ward and all that stuff, is much higher. So I don't think the Assassin matchup is one that's going to like the Prism matchup too much. And then I had one with Azuri right after that. Azuri plays a lot more poppers. But all I did was cite in the red Herald of Triumphs. I already have the other sets of Herald of Triumphs. And I just play a little bit more carefully. I got a few popped. I was never really concerned about it. I was able to do some really cheeky stuff. Fetch out the Herald of Triumph with Halo on a popper turn on a Herald of Erudition to make sure I draw my 2 cards. That goes in there. Flip over Herald of Protection to make sure that I can stuff the daggers. It's all pretty obvious play patterns. It's not like Prism's super difficult. I do have to think a lot more because there's a lot more that I'm able to do. Not a Marvel, but still Aegis, the Figment of Protection. There's a lot more interesting play patterns you can do, and you just have to find the most efficient and strongest route every single time. But it gets kind of hard, and I think that's the challenge in playing Illusionist so far is you have so many options, it's easy to take the wrong one all too often. Chains of Mephitis. So that was 2 Illusionists. And then I had the most unfortunate matchup of the night, which, man, that first matchup, we played a couple games so I could kind of feel out the match. It's KO. And as everybody knows, KO is on a hot streak right now. Not just against Prism, but against the whole meta. So I don't know what you're supposed to do in that matchup. I have no clue. We talked it over. I went through a few playlines. Obviously, I'm not looking up any kind of guides or other deck lists yet. Cold Foil Scepter of Pain. I'm not looking up anything yet. You know, I wanna explore the deck myself. You know, obviously there's tons of people out there who are crushing Prism. I've been told I'm running a mono lag list. Didn't know what lag was until today. I didn't know that's what people were calling it. I'm just not that on top of it right now. I've got kind of a lot going on extracurricular wise right now. So doing my best to keep up, but you know, life is life. Things get in the way. That's why the internet exists, to catch us all up super fast. And speaking of which, I did have a few people enjoy one of the patron rewards as well as a local community reward, the testing lists. They were all able to kind of see how Max Nitro looks in certain matchups. And I think I'm going to continue to do that, starting with Prism, seconding with Prism, following up with Prism, making sure that everybody has access to my testing logs with Prism so they can kind of see what my thought process is going into it. All of my testing notes, what I think is good, my deck list, everything. Apparently I play some cards that nobody's really a fan of. But I thought they were clutch. Like the Heralded Tenacities I hear are not super popular, but I will continue to play this. Ooh, Surgical Extraction. Not really from this set, but that's my third one for in case I start playing new. So we're just going to put that one right over there. I'm really happy that I got a response, any response from posting my testing and that format and making sure people have access to it. That was kind of cool to see people actually looking at it in real time. I could see their names pop up on a little spreadsheet and I'm just digging through the data, seeing what they could see. It also helps people side against me, unfortunately. They get to see like what cards I thought were good. My current deck list, which is only available through the link. So kind of a two-edged sword there, but I'm okay with it as long as it makes us all better. As long as it makes us all better players. So a lot of spoilers came out while we were at the armory, and I have some of those pulled up here. Obviously, we've seen Gorgon's Gaze, Undertow Stilettos. Let me just go ahead and not minimize, but kind of hide this up a little bit. We've already seen the hisses. We've already seen the arts. Fang strike, slithers. I'm not the biggest fan of this cloaked mechanic. Like, it's a fun idea, I suppose. But at some point, we are look at this thing. What is this? That's 3 legendaries in like what less than a buck's worth of packs. Fantastic pulls today. The hell was I just saying? Oh, the cloaked mechanic. Because like we're playing a card game, and eventually we are just gonna like it's not on purpose that we do this, but we will kind of play test the fun out of it until we're only really playing a few, if any, of the cloaked cards. And, you know, we're going to know what they are at some point, like unless they're all equivalently good, which very hard to do in any kind of fighting game. You can't have perfect balance all of the time. It's just gonna happen. We're just gonna find out what works best across the most situations. That's going to be what we use. Sure, I'm sure some people will sucker punch somebody with a weird cloak effect from time to time, but at the end of the day, if there's only a few of the cloaked cards that are worth playing, and I mean having a good enough effect, which will be the Majestics, it will be the Legendary, whatever it is, okay? What's the point of is that a second cold foil in the same box? I don't like it that I got this one, but you know, never complain about multiple cold foils and multiple legendaries. This is an insane box. Maybe I got the bad or the super crazy collation. I'm about to see another legendary. I don't know. I'm sure it's fun in testing, and because it's a draftable set, it'll be fun in draft. And I'm sure that's more what Cloaked is for. It's just a bit limited. Let's go ahead and take a look at a few of the other things here. What do we have? The Waxing Specters, the Waning Vengeance. All these cards came out in the pre-con decks, which they all have revealed all of these cards for in video form over on the FabTCG YouTube. Not going to take anything away from them. They did a lot of good work there showing off all of the decks and all of the new cards. You can go see them there. The only other cards that I would say like were kind of strange were like Bonds of Agony. If you've played Magic the Gathering, you know this is Cranial Extraction. Stealth. If you've played or activated 3 or more attack reactions this chain link, this gets +3, and when this hits a hero, look at their hand and choose a card. Search their hand, deck, and graveyard and banish up to 3 cards with the same name of the chosen card. Pretty legendary. Cranial Extraction is always a good card. I'm not saying that they took that design. I'm just saying there's only so many designs out there in cards, and that is certainly one of them. It's a very good design. So let's keep going. Plowing away. I'm not getting a lot of these extended art heralds in Dusk Till Dawn. Another news. I know I'm not like a Rudy reporter, but you know, he did put out a pretty relevant video about how singles in this game are somehow carrying the lifeblood, which is good. It means players want cards, but it's also weird because players aren't buying boxes like I am. They're just buying singles whenever a hero gets popular. Now, you might be like, oh, obvious statement is obvious and true. Damn! Like, what is this box? I'm sorry, that might have been really loud into the mic. 2 packs left. It really can't get much better. And I really can't ask for it. I keep getting sidetracked when I'm talking about. If only something could jog my memory. What without going back and looking at the recording already. Yeah, whatever. It's gone. We're unpacking the week. We're not going over crazy discussions. Other things that we saw were Mind's Desire. When this hits a hero, banish the top of their deck. Whenever this banishes a non-attack, it gets 1 reset. It's really cool cards. I think that was all seen in the pre-constructed deck. We also saw a card called Chase the Tail. It's a cool 1 for 7. Super cool design. Very cool. I'm just not irritated at all. 1 for 4, 3 block, red combo. If Crouching Tiger was the last attack this chain, this gets go again. And the next Crouching Tiger you play gets +3. That's insane. Let's see. Aspect of the Tiger Mind. We have all this stuff. Weakest Link came out while we were at the Armory. When this hits a hero, look at their hand and choose a card without base defense. If you do, they discard it and you draw. That's crazy against illusionists. And obviously, I guess also the Mystic Heroes, because they sometimes will have some instants that they'll be forced to play at that time if they're in their hand. It just forces hands. It's crazy. And it blocks for 3. It's a popper. It costs 2. That's way crazy. We saw, where is it? Where are you? There it is. Supercell. I don't think Max needed this much help, but as a Max player, I'll take it. Put X Steam counters on X target hyperdrivers you control for X resources. If X is 3 or greater, you may shuffle a Construct Nitro Mechanoid from your banished zone into your deck. Create a hyperdriver token with X Steam counters on it. For 1 X? And then it came with more crazy Evos are out in this set in the expansion slot that I'll have Arcane Barrier. They all seem okay, but they're just Arcane Barrier, which is the most exciting part. We already saw Kindle, I believe.
Let's see Paul Allen.
Kindle.
Oh my god.
Amp 1. If you have no cards in hand, draw a card. Bad LSS. Don't ever give them Kindle. That card is insane. That card is absolutely crazy. So we saw lots of very exciting cards revealed over this Armory in this week. Very happy to see that. The meta's ever evolving. I think I want you guys to be looking out on the Patreon for that new Prism data. Obviously, a lot of people are already doing that, but I might even make a small mini series of the development of a deck, because this is the first time since I've had all of my equipment, everything in place, and all of my resources together, and I'm kind of focused in right now. This is kind of the first time we've started a deck on this channel like this, and it's a unique opportunity. So look out for that kind of content. Check us out on Crash Command Games on eBay, TCG Player, wherever you can find that. Join that Patreon, support, like, subscribe, do all the good things. And thanks again for joining us on Unpacking the Week. This one's 0.